see me. If you can hear me, please indicate that you can hear me. Hi, good evening. All right. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Ahmad. Hi, Sadiq. Hi, Faith. Good evening. Welcome. Yeah, please be sure to share the link. So I believe you can see me and you can hear me audibly. So I'll need to connect my mic. Just give me some time. Okay, so this should be much better. Please confirm you can hear me. You can hear me clearly. All right. Good evening once again and welcome. So I'm expecting way more numbers than we currently have. Yeah, hi Michael. Good evening. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Yes, as we all know, we're in Nigeria and they've decided to do their thing. Oh my goodness. They've decided to do their thing. They decided to seize power. Well, are we surprised? No. Thankfully, I have my own artificial source of power. Yeah, they should restore it shortly. Yeah, so we're currently 15 on the call. Oh yeah, people are praying. So maybe we want to give them time to join. Thanks a lot for the reminder. So in the meantime, while we wait for them, yes, they've restored power. I trust my people. They don't disappoint a lot around here. So yeah, for want of time, um, let's dive straight into some items. So yeah, based on the survey that I conducted a while ago, I could see that we have very few full-time creators. That's to say, very few people who are full-time content creators. Then a whole lot of people, not entirely, way more people, are either trying to learn the whole video creating and video editing for the sake of work and business, right? So you're either a 9 to 5 worker like me and You want to create content around your work. Excuse my dry lips. Then for your business, I even think that's like one of the best ways to create content right now, because in today's world, anything and everything can be content, especially your business. So let's say you cook food as business. Trust me, people want to watch your process. People want to see your process. In fact, the video we'll be working on today is a video of a meal that I prepared on Easter Day. Yes, I'm a good cook. I try my best. Um, so yeah, for business, it's definitely the way to go, because trust me, everybody wants to know your business, even though we are all saying mind your business, mind your business. It's a lie. That's the whole point of social media. People want to know your business. People want to be in your business. Okay, so if you are also, maybe you sell clothes, or you sell shoes, or you sell mobile devices. Yeah, I know, I've seen one of my friends here who is into the whole mobile device space. Excuse me, I'm multitasking. I'm using my phone to check out some messages. Yeah, I'm multitasking. So as I was saying, you can always review latest devices, yeah, or even old devices. um like this, you can go on live, be it TikTok live, Instagram live, and the likes, to what's the name now, to showcase your product. Apologies, I'm trying to make sure my frame is balanced. To showcase your product, yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's also good for work, for business, whatever it is you find yourself doing. Then additional skill acquisition. So yeah, it's also a necessary skill to have. um I also picked this up almost unintentionally, not because I intended to monetize the skill. I just found it very interesting. Since my undergraduate days, I'd been involved in content creation as an undergraduate. Yeah, so I'd always been in front of the camera like this, holding mic, doing TV presenting, but I never really knew anything about editing, or the back end of editing, right? So long story short, it got to a stage where um, some, I would say, structure crumbled, simply because the TV I was a part of back then, the video editor relocated. He went for NYC, and that's how everything crumbled. So it was like nobody else had the skill. And years down the line, I was opportune to find myself in a space, in a studio, literally a media house, as my PPA for NYC. So that's why I picked up the skill at no cost. And it's also why I'm motivated to share. So if you are just learning this for the sake of additional skill acquisition, trust me, it will help. There's a lot you wouldn't have to pay for. Some people now, for their weddings, because they have the skill, the day you see the video is the day you see it, because they are unwilling to pay anybody for that. It's your wife's birthday, it's your boyfriend's birthday, your kids have their birthday upcoming, and all of that. It's easier for you to just edit the video yourself and put it out there. Okay, let's say you want to volunteer in church, or in your mosque, or there's a family function, or you attend an event. You want to start your vlog. It's a very important and necessary skill to have. So moving on, as I've already mentioned before now, the phone, we'll be learning how to edit using our phones. We'll also be learning how to edit using our laptops. But for tonight, we are going to be starting with editing using your laptop. Okay. So yeah, that's majorly some of the stuff I want to talk about. Other related things I want to talk about might be coming up subsequently. So choosing the right software is just as important. So we have some popular editing software options. We have CapCut, which is what we'll be working with tonight. We also have Adobe Premiere Pro. That's like very advanced. That's high level. It's probably the most popular. It's quite technical and probably the most difficult to use. But then you can always start easy and then move upward. Personally, I really like DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci is like sweet. To me, it's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. It's professional, but it's not so complicated. And obviously, we now have Final Cut Pro. That's I personally don't know how to use it because I feel like I already know enough, and it's not like anyone is paying me, right? So I'm sticking to the free stuff and basic stuff for now. So for basic editing concepts, I hope you'll be taking notes. If you aren't, please do. So we'll be learning about cutting and trimming clips, that basically cutting and joining, what tailors do. You have a blank material or a blank canvas and you have your scissors. And you imagine the style you want to achieve, you possibly craft it out and then you cut and join till you have the final output. So we'll be learning about cutting and trimming clips. We'll do that tonight. We'll also be learning about adding transitions and effects. We might do that tonight. All those very cool transitions you see where someone just comes and swipes their hand across the screen and you see that something else or they are somewhere else. So for instance, I'm in this room right now recording this video and I just swipe my hand and next thing you see, as my hand is transitioning, it's showing me maybe in a hotel room or elsewhere. You can just imagine. So we'll be learning about transitioning and effects. Very importantly, we'll be learning about audio adjustments. So audio adjustments has to do with volume, music, sound effects. So from as simple as using a microphone, which you can see I have, and which is very important, yeah, instead of relying on the audio that's coming out of this device by default. So for those who joined earlier, you can tell that the quality of audio improved after I connected the mic. This is what it looks like. It's a two-in-one mic. So let's say I have someone else, I could also give them the second option for them to work with. If you're interested, you can ask me in the DM. I got it on AliExpress. I can always share a link to you, and it's not so expensive. So yeah, that's one of the things we'll be learning about. Then the volume as well. It's possible to edit your volume to make it as high as possible or as low as possible. Then how to add music, background music. So now I'm just speaking to you. If I were to edit this video, I could add a layer of music in the background and make it sound, very cool. Then we also have sound effects. So let's say like gunshot sound, clapping, applause, as you know, people laughing in the background, all those stuff you see on TikTok, sounds of water pouring into a cup, whatever it is, snapping of fingers, lighting a matchstick, and the likes, or typical Nollywood sound effects. You know how people disappear, pew, those sort of thing, or the popular Indian sound effect. They are shooting guns and it's going pitching, pitching. Yeah, we'll definitely be learning about all of that. Then there's also color correction and grading. There's color correction and grading. So for instance, the video you are seeing in front of you can still be edited to improve the color. Yeah, is what you see in movies. So for instance, you watch a movie and the setting is in 1995 and it's in white and black, or it's in sepia scale, it's sort of brown, and the lights. We can learn all of that. So for instance, with the light I'm using now, I can change the color, but even with your video editing app, you can equally do the same. So please pay attention. I'll be changing the color of the light. You can see that the color has obviously changed. The color has changed again, and the color has changed again. So this is a mix of fluorescent and incandescent. Fluorescent is your white bulb, while incandescent is your yellow bulb. Yeah, so what I'm using here now is a mix of both. Now, to cut the long story short, we can equally learn color grading, color correction, and how to change all these lighting scenes in the video. So yes, for now, that's where we'll be stopping so that we do not waste a lot of time talking. We'll be diving straight into CapCut. Just a moment so I can switch my camera around. Yes, please, once you can see my camera, I would need you to, or my screen rather, I would need you to confirm that you can see my screen. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen? Maybe a chat. You can leave a message if you can see my screen. Not very clear. Yeah, so we might have to make do with what we have here and now. Um, okay, please try to increase your what's the name? The quality of the video, please. So there's somewhere check settings on your screen. You should be able to see settings and increase the quality of the video. So you might be watching or streaming in 140p or 240. Please take it up to as high as 360p or even 750p if you have the data and the network for that. Please check. It's possible. It's very possible for you to increase the strength and quality of the video. I'll also try to be as snappy as possible. So, like I said, we'll be working with CapCut. This is what CapCut looks like over here. I'm sure we all know CapCut. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on your PC. There are some other applications we'll be looking at, but that will come at a subsequent time. So when you launch the app, this is what it looks like. Here you can see my projects. There are two files I've worked on previously. I could share links to them for two different clients, so to say. One is in the US and one is in Nigeria, launching her brand newly. I could share the links so you can see the output of the video. So now we are going to create project. So we are creating a new project. So I've clicked on it and it is coming up. So please, I'll need, while this is coming up, I'll need a couple of minutes or seconds rather for me to just quickly attend to something. Let me see, maybe if I also turn off the lights, this would be better. Is this any better with the lights off and just the screen? Can I get a response, please? I'm not getting any response, guys. Yeah, but is it better with the lights on or off? That's what I need to know. All right, thank you very much. All right, I'm back. Better with the light off. Okay. So yes, thank you all very much. So this is what the CapCut interface looks like. Over here you can see import. Here you can see audio. Here we have text. Here we have stickers. Here we have effects. We have transitions. We have filters. We have adjustments. So we are going to be importing. Excuse me, please. So over here, we will be importing. And one of the reasons I love CapCut so much, and I always advise or prefer using CapCut, is that it auto saves files, right? So over here, just a moment. So over here, you can see it says auto saved. and this was what, 7:16. This is 19:16:29. So that means 16 minutes past 7 at exactly 29 seconds after it saved this thing. Even though I haven't done anything, it saved this item because the last action I did was to open it up, right? So unlike other video editing apps like Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, you have to continually save. So you have to be doing Control S, Control S, Control S, Control S with them. So it's like moving from, if we make a comparison, it would be using Microsoft Word to type. You have to continually save using Microsoft Word. But if you are using Google Docs, it automatically saves whatever you do without having to do Control S. So same applies here when it comes to CapCut versus other video editing tools. CapCut always automatically saves. So now we are going to be importing. Okay, so when we click on import, it will open up our system drive. So this was the last set of videos I worked on, but that's not what I'll be working on today. I already have my desired videos prepared and stored somewhere. So all I have to do is to find the folder. So I named it new content. And like I said, there are food videos. So all I have to do now is select. I believe we all know how to select files and upload them. Then I click on open and it imports them. So now this is our project space, and we can see that it has uploaded all the 7 videos that we wanted to upload. Yeah, apologies for having to do this. The last time I did a test, the last test video stream I did, the network was too poor for me to share my screen on the system. So I realized that streaming from my phone and using my camera to record probably gave me higher chances than if I were sharing my screen. So if I were to share my screen, it would have been way more difficult. You get. So now, moving on. I've imported this. Excuse me a moment. All right, moving on. So I've imported the files here. So mind you, I only imported videos. I only imported videos here. You can import images, you can import audio files and all the likes. So I think I should also import audio files. So now, beyond using this import inside here, right, you can equally drag and drop. So that means if you had the files open here, you can select them, you know how to drag, then you drop. But I won't be doing that now. So I want to, these 2 audio files here that you can see, I named them DeriqVlaq and DeriqVlaq 2. I actually paid a friend who is a music producer to create this for me so that I do not have copyright issues. One other thing you want to learn is avoiding copyright issues. Forget that the video is trendy and you're going to use the video sound in your video. If the video chooses to sue you for copywriting his sound or his music or even his video clip without his permission, it's not going to be funny. It's why people do a lot of reaction videos. So you see someone is reacting to a video, especially on TikTok, and there's a frame that shows their head in the video to prove that, okay, it's not just copyright issue. I'm just reacting to this video. So I'm using this. I paid about 10,000 naira for each, just to make sure that tomorrow someone will not come and sue me and say, why did you use my music in background? So yeah, moving on. So I've imported that audio file, and this is it right here. So now let's speak to ratio. But first, let's drag this. So now this is your editing panel over here. This long empty space you can see is your editing panel. And you can see that as I bring my cursor here, it's asking me to hide panel, right? So what's going to happen now is we have to bring this video down to the editing panel. And this long straight line here is useful for moving around anywhere you are working on at the moment. So like I said, you can see it's shaped like a needle, right? So what do you expect as a tailor? Your needle functions on the part of the clothes it is penetrating. So same applies with this needle. Anywhere it is, that's where your action will be taking place. And there are so many more actions to be done. So because it is here at the beginning of the panel, we now have to add any material here for us to be able to start to create. So we can just hit the plus sign that says add to track, and then you can see we have this needle here, so automatically it will add the video there, or we can equally drag and drop. I hope we saw that. We can equally drag and drop. So now that we've done that, let's speak to ratio. So this ratio here is awfully important. When I say awfully, I mean extremely important. Now you can see we have original, we have custom, we have 16 by 9, and then we have 9 by 16. Please ignore all the rest because we are just starting. This is a very, very basic class. We are just starters over here. And some of us might already know what this means, but for the benefit of those who don't, permit me to speak to it. So for 16 by 9, you can also see the shape, right? Let me just move my phone a bit. This is what it looks like if you can tilt your phone to the side. Yeah, if you can tilt your phone, can you see that? Perfect. So the usefulness of ratio is for you to decide how you want it to appear. So for instance, you can see my laptop screen. Perfect example. My laptop screen is rectangular in a horizontal position, right? My laptop screen is rectangular in a horizontal position. That is ratio 16 by 9. Now for 9 by 16, that's what your phone screen is. Your phone screen is also rectangular but in a vertical position. That means it's standing upright. Now, this video I'm editing, if we leave it at original, it stays at 9 by 16 because when I recorded the video, it was upright. So let me just put this in full screen mode for you to see. So you can see that it's not taking the entire space in the screen. And the reason is because it was recorded in 9 by 16 orientation. And the black space, blank or empty space beside, is because my laptop is in a 16 by 9 orientation. Now, this video I'm also streaming is being streamed in a 16 by 9 orientation. I could also choose to tilt my phone and change the orientation for it to appear straight, okay? Apologies, I was just trying to zoom in. So yes, let's move on from that. So please always take note of the ratio. Always take note of the ratio. 16 by 9 is typically what you will see in news. So if you are watching Channels TV, TVC, or even if you are watching a sermon on your phone, everybody always records in 16 by 9. Now, mind you, that 16 by 9 is such that you can still crop it to 9 by 16. A lot of us that watch a lot of sermons, a lot of those sermons, if not all, are recorded using regular cameras in 16 by 9. Then we can edit it in that size or still repurpose it to 9 by 16. So I think I can also find a 16 by 9 video. Let's just do that right now. So I deleted what I imported here originally. So I'll be importing a 16 by 9 video so that we can practically see the difference. I recorded this in church and I'm looking for a very light video. Yeah, I think it's 16 by 9. Yes, this is perfect. So please pay attention to the orientation. You can see that this video covers the entire screen. I can also play it. I won't have copyright issues. Apologies for the loud noise. So yeah, So that's just to show you the difference. You can see that this one occupies the entire length of my screen. That's a 16:9 video. And then you can see that, let me use something interesting. Something like this. Why is this not responding? So you can see that something like this just occupies only about quarter of the entire screen. Okay. I promise you guys the next one will be better than this. I'll make sure I have stable network, stable internet, possibly a 5G network, so I can just share my screen and avoid all these light issues. So yes, let's move on. So we now understand orientation, I believe. So now let's just dive straight into it. So I'll be selecting all the videos I want to work with, as well as the audio, and then I will drag and drop them in the editing panel. So now if you can still see my screen, you will notice that I've put everything in the editing panel. I wish this was clearer than this. So I'll be moving my phone around a lot. Permit me to just unhook it. So now there are a lot of features I want us to take cognizance of. We've seen how to import. We've seen the importation folder. Now this right here is the editing panel, right? And now we have some functions here that you'll be making use of a lot of times, right? So this is used to zoom in and zoom out the content of your editing panel. So each time I tap on the plus sign, you can see that it widens up what's happening there. And I can equally zoom out, right? Then over here, we have the zoom to fit to timeline, which you can see zoom to fit to timeline. So once I click on it, it's going to almost magically align everything there perfectly. So I've done that. So I'm going to be taking out the audio. We do not need that audio at the moment. So all you have to do is click an item and use the delete option on your keyboard, and it deletes it. So I'll be zooming all these items now to fit to timeline. All I have to do is click on this, and you can see that it has taken all those videos and it has aligned them perfectly on my timeline. Now you'll notice this yellow line. Now this is that needle I spoke about, right? This needle will be anywhere we want to work on per time, while this yellow line you are seeing with my cursor, it gives me a preview of what is going on there. Hence why you can see the video above moving around. So each time I move this yellow line, it gives me a preview of what I want to work on. So please take note, there's a difference between the needle itself and then the yellow line. The yellow line is for previewing. That doesn't mean the yellow line doesn't work. And just be sure that before you select, before you delete, before you cut, your needle is actually where you want it to be. Now, as a reminder, this is the autosave option that I told you about. Can you see? This was what? About 1 or 2 minutes ago, and this has autosave. That's why I prefer this compared to other video editing apps, because you can imagine if you run out of battery and your system shuts down all of a sudden, or it encounters a problem, or your system decides to crash. You can imagine what happens. Hours and hours or even days of work will just be lost. So let's still see other options around here. So here we have the turn off preview axis. So the preview axis is that yellow line I told you about. You can choose to turn it off, but I personally prefer working with it, right? Here we have turn on linkage. So what linkage does is it just simply links all these videos together. And when you install the app, you can still play around with it and see. So next up, we have turn off auto snapping. So what I love about auto snapping is it allows videos automatically come together, so there can't be space between the videos. So when I drop this video here, it will automatically snap it to the last video. Can you see that? It will automatically snap it together to the last video. Then we also have turn off main track magnet. This also works in the same way as auto snapping, meaning that everything we have on the main track. So now let's even speak to main track. So main track is where you have the video. Main track is where you have the video. And for now, we do not have other items. That's why we have only one track. That's why we have only one track, okay? So if we were to add our audio, it will be on the bottom track. So can you see? The audio in the background now that we intend to use as background music is in the bottom track, right? Then if we were to add images or logo, for instance, let's quickly import one of those. I have some social media icons here. Let's import this WhatsApp icon, for instance. We'll still learn way more about that. If we put it here, you see that it's not staying on the main track, it's not staying on the bottom track. We are putting it on the track above because we want it to do a different function. We'll still resize it. We can always resize this, right? So let's say you want to put your phone number for those who are into business or whatever the case may be. You can always resize it, but we'll get there. So for now, I just need you to understand that we have main tracks and other tracks that are not the main track. I hope that's clear. So now let's move on. So we'll be deleting the other tracks, the content of other tracks, and you can't have a track if it is empty. You can't have a track if it is empty. So yeah, just give me some seconds so I can set up my phone back on the stand, please. Thank you. All right. I believe this is clear. Okay. So yeah, let's move on. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to play the entire video. I'll put it in full screen, and then I will play the entire video that I'll be working with, just so that you can have an idea of what I'll be working with. Let me adjust the lighting a bit. Just a moment, please. Okay. So yeah, I'll be playing the entire video. So I need you to watch what the video looks like now. And then when we are done editing this video, you'll see what it looks like. So it's just 1 minute and 3 seconds. So I'm playing now. All right, so that's all with the video. That's all with the video. So now moving on. Yeah. So now the first topic I mentioned that will be treating today is basically just cutting and joining, trimming, right? So this is where you also need your judgment as as a video editor or as a content creator. So here a lot of your judgment is actually needed. So you need to decide the part of the video that is not useful, that isn't useful, the part of the video that you need to eliminate, the part of the video that you need to cut out. So you can always use your space bar to play a video and your space bar to pause. All right. Then there's an undo button here. This is what undo, Control Z. So I need you to take note of this. You can either click on this button to undo an action, or you can click on Control Z, which everybody should know on their laptop. Over here, we have a number of options. So we have select. When you see this icon, it's showing select. So select is to select a video, any particular video or audio or image or whatever the case may be that you want to work on. That's what select works for. And the shortcut to do that, instead of coming here, is to just click letter A. So if you click letter A on your keyboard, it turns to this option. Then here we have split, which is letter B. Split is basically a razor blade. So that's where the cutting comes in. You can see that the icon has changed. It now looks like a razor blade. So anywhere you click on, it's going to cut it. So you can bring your razor, your needle here, remember, then use your razor to cut. So anywhere you click on, it will cut the video. So you will notice that this video at this point has been cut into two. So we are going to Control Z, undo that. We're going to undo that. Then you can also use the open bracket and close bracket to select left word or select right word. So you can always go left, right, left, right. So I'll be showing you that, but we have to make this to be in A. So I've selected this item. All I have to click is open bracket and it will select left word, and close bracket it will select right word. So you will see that the arrow option itself has changed, right? So you might also not need the select left word and right word. So you can always use your A and B. A to select, B to split or to cut. A is to select and B serves as a razor blade. So let's move on. So now this is this video, right? So we are going to decide what we need to keep and what we need to eliminate. So now this entire video is just 1 minute and 3 seconds. So what we are going to try to do is beat it down to 30 seconds. So let's see how we can eliminate useless clips and maintain useful clips, just to have it as a 30-second video. So you can always watch the video. So for instance, in this video, it's just 6 seconds. So somewhere on your screen there, on the video where my arrow is right now, you'll be able to see the length or the duration of the video. So you can see that this is 6 seconds and 20. So we also have something called time frame, right? So time frame, we have about 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. So that means a video that is 1 second long probably has 30, or most certainly has 30 frames or 60 frames. Now this isn't something the human eye can see. That's why you have slow motion videos. So slow motion videos are what they make use of frames per second. Slow motion videos make use of frames per second. And what it does is it slows down whatever it is that your human eye can see. So let's say there is a 1 second video, right? You can zoom and stretch that video till the point where you see as many frames as possible. So for instance, this video now, I have stretched it out, and over here you can see something like 10 f full. In full is called FPS, that's frames per second. So we have 10 FPS, we have 20 FPS, then you have 1 second. So that means that between 0 and 10 you have 10, between 10 and 20 you have another 10, then between 20 and 1 you have another 10. So that means this video was recorded in 30 frames per second, that's 30 FPS. So that essentially means that you can still see certain things that the regular human eye will not see. You can slow down a 1 second video to the point that it takes you 5 seconds to watch the video. So it's like when you watch a slow motion video of an accident or of someone shooting a gun, and you can see how the bullet or the drop of water is making impact with whatever it is. Maybe you are watching a video, they are showing raindrops and the likes. So they usually slow down those videos using frames per second. So now, moving on back to what we were doing here. This video is just 6 seconds long, right? So what I will do, if you are paying attention, you will notice that the light while recording the video, when I started, was off. Then later I put on the light. Okay, so I'm playing this now, and you can see that the light has come on in the video. So I'm taking it back. You can see right here the light is off. Then after a few seconds I put on the light. So what I'll be doing now here is I'm selecting the video. So I've selected video A, and then at what point did the light come on? You can see when the flashlight came on right here, and just after the flashlight went off, I can now drag this my needle to that point, and it gives me a preview. So I'm not guessing, I'm not doing guesswork here. So I drop it here, I drop it right here. Then I change this to split, that's the razor. So like I said, you can either select this manually or you can just use your keyboard. So I'll be using my keyboard, and when I select B, it changes it to a razor rather. So when I double click, it cuts the video. So if you are seeing this clearly, it has cut the video into two. So I select A to go back. Please, when you cut a video using B or using the razor or the split option, always go back to the select option so that you do not mistakenly cut something else that you do not intend to cut. So now that I have cut this video, what am I going to do? I'm simply going to delete it. So you can see that my 6 seconds video has now been split into the first 2 seconds without the light and the next 4 seconds with the light on. Okay, so I'm just going to select this and hit the delete option. Mind you, I can still right click on this video. So you see, when you right click, it gives you a lot of options. So you can copy, you can cut, you can delete, you can split scene, you can also edit, you can trim, you can remove filler words. This is a pro option. I'm using free CapCut at the moment. You can create compound clip. We'll definitely get to all of that. You can extract the audio, you can replace the clip, you can deactivate the clip and all of that. But then we'll get to that subsequently. So I'm just selecting. If I double click or right click, I delete. So you can see it says I can use the backspace. So if I click on backspace, just like when I'm typing, it will delete that. So I'm selecting this and I'm doing backspace. It has deleted it. So now let's watch the video again. You can see that the 4 seconds, the 6 seconds video has been trimmed to what now? To 4 seconds. So let's watch it on full screen. This is what it looks like. So now I'm going to reduce this to, let's say, 3 seconds. 3 seconds is enough. I want us to be done in the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to pick up the pace. So all I have to do is at the edge, aside from cutting, right? Aside from selecting this and splitting the video and cutting, you can also drag. So at the edge of this box, you can see this option to drag. So that means I can reduce and expand. So because this video ends here, I can't expand past this point. But you see, even this video I have cut before, if I drag, it will reveal all the parts that were previously cut. Everything I previously cut, I can expand and restore. So I'm going to do Ctrl Z twice to restore it back to the original state. Then what I'm going to do is use this drag from the end of the video, the closing part of the video, just to reduce it to 3 seconds. Now, please note here, this time, it shows you the real time or the length of the video, so you are not guessing, right? When editing videos, you do not want to guess. So while I drag, you will notice that the time is reducing, and I can take it down just to 3 seconds. And voila, I have exactly 3 seconds length for this video. So now let's move on to the next video. This is what it looks like. Now this is the very interesting part. I assure you, you definitely want to pay attention here. So let's just get straight to cutting. So you'll notice that there are a lot of unnecessary information. For instance, the turkey that was boiled here, is necessary information, right? However, you see, between this very moment I started walking away from the turkey, right? All this space showing all this ground, all this empty space showing all this is not very important until these onions, right? So what we can do is we can cut. Once again, click on B on your desktop. Now you can see I have a razor blade in place, right? So now I can scroll, or I can simply just, play this afresh. And as I'm watching, the moment I walk away, I pause the video, right? So I play. You see, I'm about walking away. So I pause the video there. I switch to my razor. I click on B. Once I double click, it cuts the video. Then I play it again. You see, once it focuses on the onions, I can cut the video here. So I click on B again and I double click. So that means between here and here is useless footage. This is basically useless footage, right? So all I have to do is select this and backspace to delete it. So now what happens? This is basically all we need to know about cutting and joining. It now brings the turkey closer to the onions. Can you see that transition? So without having to show you how I was walking up and down, showing you my mopping stick, showing you my tiles, showing you my foot mat and all of that, it just shows you from the turkey to the onions, which is why you watch a lot of videos and they are just short, straight to the point, interesting. In 30 seconds, in 60 seconds, someone can show you how they did all of this and all of that. So let's move on. Over here I have groundnut oil, I have spicy tea. This can here, it didn't show well. Maybe I should have laid it down. That's baked corn or something. Yeah, baked corn. Then I have Korean thyme. Then I have green beans, carrots, blah blah blah. I want to show all of this. So what happens? I can let all this video footage stay in the video. So now you can see between my pressing iron here and this groundnut oil that is frying with onions in it is useless footage. So basically from the moment I showed you all of this till the very last bit here is useless footage. So I bring my needle here and then I switch to B. I just click on B, right? And I double click, it cuts that clip. So now one other thing we can do is switch back to A. Instead of coming here to cut again, right? We can drag. Remember I showed you that when you click on a video, it allows you drag that video. So if I drag this video, it's basically cutting out all this empty space. You see my gas cylinder, my fridge, all of that is getting it out. So apart from cutting, I can choose to just, reduce the length and eliminate that. So now let's watch what we've put together from the beginning actually. So you can see the process, and you can see how quickly we have eliminated useless footage. So that's basically cutting and joining. So I might not be saying much for the next couple of minutes. I'll just be working very speedily because I don't want to keep us here for longer than 1 hour, right? So just watch me work. Yeah, I'll still be speaking as much as I can, but this is it. So now this is the groundnut oil. I was boiling peas or something here, and then it splashed in the water. So water splashed in the oil. So all of that is unnecessary footage. So from the moment I covered this is unnecessary footage. You see, from the moment so always use your preview. You don't always have to play back the video. So from the moment I covered this is unnecessary footage. All this is unnecessary footage, showing the oven, the gas burner, and all of that. So remember, you can click on this, you can cut so many options, and then you can drag. So dragging is reversing the video. So once I see my hand covering the pot, I'm leaving it there, right? So this is what it looks like. And you can see that it has eliminated that side. So now this is for the sauce that I was frying. So everything I cut, I could not record myself putting it in the oil, but then as at here, I was done, right? Thank you, Samira. Thanks for your response. So you can see that this is what it looks like while I was doing all of this. So there's a little voice. I do not want the voice that sounded. So if you are paying attention, you can hear someone's voice just at the end of the video. So listen. So now, because of that voice, there are other ways we can edit the audio, but for now, let's just close the video till the part that voice isn't there. So now let's look at this again. So yeah, video editing takes a lot of time. You can imagine working on a 60 seconds video and it's taking this much. So this is this again. This video is already too long, right? This video is already too long. This is a second video, the same thing, just different angle. Yeah, and then in this video you can see my legs are showing because of the angle of the phone. I don't think I want that. It's basically the same video, so I can just eliminate this one. I've eliminated that clip. So now let's watch this again. This is too long. This is what, 9 seconds. So we can bring it down to 5 seconds, yeah, because we do not want to bore our audience. So let's play. This is the final outcome. 9 seconds. You can always fast forward it. That's something we can learn at a later time. We can always actually fast forward the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the length of this video from 9 seconds. So I click on it. Remember, this right here shows you the length. So I'm taking it down to 5 seconds and I'm dragging, and you can see the time reducing, and then I have exactly 5 seconds of footage. So let's just recap the whole video from the beginning. It's almost 1 hour. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for showing up. And I hope you've learned something at least. So now this is one video. This is the first video I recorded when I was done cooking. And this is the second video I recorded when I was done cooking. So I think I prefer the second video. You might not see it as clear as I see it, But let me see if I can try to show you why I prefer the second video. So this is where that footage starts from. Okay, I think, yeah, I might just use the first. So I think I can work with both videos. The first video is very colorful, but then my leg is showing in that video. So what I'm going to do is I'll use just maybe the first few seconds of the video. You can see the steam. I don't know if you can see the hot steam to show I just brought the food down from the fire, right? So I'm going to trim this video. I'll be dragging from the end just to the point. That's the advantage of CapCut. It lets you see where exactly you are per time. So just to the point where my leg almost showed. So I'll be using this first bit of the video, yeah, and then I'll be using the last bit of this video. Like I said, it became very clear. I also export this video and send it to the WhatsApp group for reference purpose. Now you can see there is a timeline. Always use your timeline. Remember the target is 30 seconds, right? This is 33 seconds. This is 36 seconds. So our video, and if you look here, our video is currently at 36 seconds. So we'll be trying to achieve 30 seconds. So let's drag. Let's free it. It's still at 32 seconds. We can always drag it again. It's still at 31 seconds. And this video is what? 4 seconds long. So let's drag it till we see 3 seconds. So yes, we now have 3 seconds video footage. And see, the exact length of the video is 29 seconds. So this is it. We have attained 30 seconds video clip. So let's just quickly play through. So now that we are done, we can. So now that we are done, we can remove the background audio. So all the audio that you were hearing, we can just eliminate them. So there's a button here. You see this button here that looks like a speaker? It says mute track. We are behind schedule. Apologies for taking too much time. So we just mute track. So when we mute track, the video becomes silent. So you can't hear any single sound from the video again. So now what I want to do is insert my audio. This is my audio. Remember this audio. Now, remember this pin. I'm putting this pin at the beginning so it can put my audio at the beginning, and I'm adding it. So now I've added it. Let's play the video with the audio. So now the video has ended, but the audio is still playing. So we are going to just crop that audio to meet our 30 seconds requirement. Then there's also auto snapping. Remember what I said about auto snapping. So you do not have to guess when you are working, right? So when I'm dragging this, you see a blue line. A blue line appears to let me know that, okay, you have reached where this pin is. Do you want to perfect it there? So I can either leave it there, or when I get closer here, there's also another blue line that appears at the exact point that that 30 seconds audio ends. So if I leave it on that blue line, the audio will be perfectly there. So now we'll have our exact 30 seconds video. So we'll be stopping here for tonight. Thank you for your time. So let me just quickly show you how to export the video. And like I said, I'll be sharing this video in the WhatsApp group. I will also post it on YouTube so that you can see the outcome of what we've done. Then you can also try to edit yourself and then share the outcome of your editing with me. I also don't want the video to be too long because we're also recording it for the benefit of those who are not here. So let me take that again. So at the top here, you can export at the top of the screen here. Let me put it closer. This button here says export, right? Then we can also change the name to avoid confusion. So you see this number here is for changing the name. So let's just change it to fried rice, F rice. Okay, so we've changed the name to fried rice. Then we now click on export. So when we click on export, this is the interface that shows. Yeah, I promise you the next class will be way better than this. We'll continue from where we stopped. You can see the name is there. We can choose the destination, right? So when you click on that option, edited content is the name of the folder I want it to be, and I select folder. So you're not looking for it. And you don't have to tamper with all these options. Yeah, you don't have to tamper with it. Subsequently, we can talk about it. If your internet is on, you can check for copyright. Otherwise, you can choose not to, then you export. So now I have exported the video, right? And then I can open folder. So yes, we don't have to watch the video here and now. I will be sharing that this is the final video. We can still watch it. However, I'll be sharing the finalized copy. So yeah, I'll be sharing the finalized copy with you on the group. I'll be sharing the finalized copy with you on the group. So thanks for your time. Apologies for how this turned out. Yeah, I promise you I'll do better next time. I promise you I'll do better next time. So yeah, we can end the class now. We can call this a day. It's been a lot. So please you can kindly type your goodbyes in the, what do I call it now, in the chat box. Yeah. So yeah, I'll see you all when next I see you. Thanks for coming around, and bye for now. So I want you to leave. I don't want to end the call. I don't want to end it. I want you guys to leave. All right. Thank you very much, Endurance. Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye. Good night.